Hello, welcome to a very special episode of Podcast 43. I'm your host, Chris Borg, and I'm joined by.
uh, Fulton, and we have
We got Cody. He's back. He's
Cody's
back
back.
for
Yeah.
the
one
boys are back in
episode for
town.
a bit of how
Uh,
you kids doing? How's everyone doing? Podcast 43.
Doing good. Doing
Yeah,
good. Yeah. Just
I'm
Nice.
a
trying to.
little under the weather, but other than that, doing okay.
I I guess I'm disappointed that I didn't catch up on all the 2024 movies that I didn't get to see. Uh,
Yeah.
and that's like something that I'm really kind of trying to reckon with. Like the big ones that I still have yet to see are I still haven't seen Nickel Boys. I still haven't seen Last
hmm
Summer. I still haven't seen Hard Truths, and I still haven't seen Caught by the Tides. But
mm
it is what it is. I'll get around to them later. It's just they will be, and Here. I never saw Here, so those will be
You
glaring
never saw
omissions.
here?
I
Oh,
never
wow.
saw
Chris,
Here. Yeah.
Chris.
Wow. You know the
Well,
listeners are gonna be like, wait a minute, he said here's the one you get to see? Like what? Yeah. Y'all ever notice like because we've been doing these for a while, right? And like sometimes I'll watch like a 2022 movie that I missed, and I'm like, why am I watching this? What's the point? No one's gonna know where this ranks on my list.
Yeah, exactly.
do
What,
you go back and
what-
change y'all's lists after you
I
watch
actually
a?
do. You have to
Mm,
you have to be a really obsessive Cody Letterbox fan, but you will see that my lists do change. Although I
mm,
haven't changed my some of them for some time. I'm sure some of those films have aged a little better in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, like
mm.
I do that most of the time. Although I will admit, this is I committed a I committed a transgression against that policy where I watched Den of Thieves 1 last week and I
Mm.
didn't change my 2018 list. I sue me. Sue
Wow.
me.
Take the episode
Whoa.
down. Take the episode
It's
down.
wow. Wow.
um
Wow.
but that's all right. We I think we all saw some good movies and I'm really looking forward to breaking them down.
Hmm.
But I guess before we do that, I think we'd like to address the loss of David Lynch this week,
Mm.
which I think we're
Yeah.
all very, very uh, sad about. It's a very, very grave loss to the film community and just to the world at large.
And in LA,
Yeah.
just in general, man,
Oh,
our hearts go
it
out
was
to y'all.
it's horrible. It's horrible. I actually work over here in LA, and news broke while I was on the studio, and I just couldn't. I mean, this is the type of loss that you don't really. It didn't even register for most of us that this was a possibility.
Mhm.
Just someone you think is going to live forever,
Yeah.
and it was. I mean, it's still really hard to process. Um, he's a great filmmaker. I think he. I mean, for anyone who's into movies, really, he has been such an important figure into understanding art as a medium, and it's incredible. Um, I did go to Bob's Big Boy
Hmm.
the day that it happened, and it was very sweet. There were a lot of flowers, a lot of people leaving pictures and PBR cans and cups of
Oh,
coffee. Like, it was a very moving memorial for him, and of course that was his favorite restaurant. I words can't even express how big of a loss this is and what he meant for everybody.
mhm.
Um, I just, gosh, do y'all remember the first Lynch that you saw? Like, what was your introduction to Mr. Lynch?
I think for me, the first David Lynch movie I ever watched was Mulholland Drive because as a religious RogerEbert.com reader in my middle school years, I remembered one of the last movies that he crowned a great movie, which was the thing that he would do. He would create like a list of the great movies, in his opinion. And one of the last films he ever wrote a great movie review on was actually Mulholland Drive. And I watched it and it blew me away. And the rest is history. And
Mhm.
after that, I was a big Billy Ray Cyrus fan. I'll have you know.
Yeah, that's okay. He's getting ready for the inauguration. So
Okay,
we are recording
that's
this
Yes.
right.
Oh,
before
yeah.
the
And Snoop
inauguration. Yeah,
Dogg.
so
Yeah.
I think Eraserhead was one of my first ones because I got into the Criterion Collection in like early high school, and he's one of those filmmakers that they just have done a lot of nearly most of his films, like 70% of his films, I think, are in the Criterion, like a large number, and then from there, Twin Peaks, and then I was hooked, from then, and then the return and all that stuff. And so I have a lot of very vivid memories of watching Twin Peaks. And it was a very awkward moment in high school. I watched Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me with I was on vacation, and my friend had to go talk to his girlfriend for a very long time, and his mom felt bad that I was left alone, and so we just put on TV, and I was like, "Oh, Fire Walk with Me, we'll watch that." I didn't know anything what was on it or the content wise, so that was very an uncomfortable viewing for a lot of it, and but I love that movie
with your friend's mother, like just you and your friend's mom.
Wow.
It's very uncomfortable, but great movie. Great movie. Really.
Yeah.
The 4K release of Lost Highway, I saw 2 midnight screenings of that. So really, like, yeah, just words can't do him justice, but
special.
Yes.
He was I posted this on Twitter that the first one that I saw was Lost Highway, and I was like, I think I was 11. And
that is such a wild first one.
It was also my first R-rated movie, which was crazy.
Oh my god!
It was absolutely gnarly.
Yeah.
It was. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. I think it's okay.
Wait,
it's fine. It's just a. Oh, go ahead.
Cody, weren't you? Because when you grew up, like your parents were like, you can't watch any like PG-13 movies or whatever. And so like what you decided to do is you like just started watching like international art house films that like weren't rated. So you're like watching like Bergman movies.
That's true. I started watching movies that were not rated. And then that was how I would get around it. But Lost Highway came on the IFC channel, which we had free for a weekend. And I stayed up till 4 a.m. with my friend Jaron, and we watched it. And I was like, "Is this what all R-rated movies are like? Is this really what it's about?"
His films are truly shine in that those odd hours of the night. I feel like.
I mean, Lost Highway also has like probably one of my favorite soundtracks out of any movie.
It's so good.
It's got all my favorite 90s.
Yeah, it's so incredible.
But I know we were talking in a group chat, and I Chris, I do agree with you. I think Lost Highway was probably my second favorite, and I said it was my favorite, but having thought about it a little bit more, I think Fire Walk with Me might be my favorite. But
that's fair.
It changes. That's the thing about him, is like literally every film is up for multiple reviewings and multiple re-examinations and interpretations and understandings. So
yeah, there are people. I mean, there's somebody that I've met that every single one of his film is like I've met a person that like every film that he's released, like it's been somebody that I've talked to's favorite. Like even Dune, which is definitely the one that people have the most trouble with, but it's just
there's still some of the biggest fans of all time of that movie.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. He doesn't have a miss. Like it's really an incredible filmography he left us with. It's just such a sad loss. It's so
and also
sad.
An amazing painter too. I just
yes.
Wow, the paintings are fantastic.
Musician as well.
Just a true renaissance.
One of my all-time favorite songs.
So like it's funny because like his favorite painter is Francis Bacon, and his favorite movie is The Wizard of Oz, which is like a really interesting kind of contradiction because it's like The Wizard of Oz is so like kind of normal like Hollywood movie, and Francis Bacon's paintings are so like warped and kind of disturbing, but it really just makes sense like if you've seen any of his films that he really loves like kind of this 50s Americana aesthetic, and then also like the darkness underlying all of it.
Blue Velvet
is
also up there. That's a favorite of mine too.
So we're just he's in our thoughts, and I think he's in a lot of people's thoughts today, this coming week and forever. So I'll definitely be watching one of his films this week. to pay my respects. Catching
Same
a
here.
screening.
Yeah.
Same here.
I'm
They're
assuming
going
they're.
to be, yeah.
I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
say
They're showing Wild at Heart this weekend, actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I think they're
The
doing.
oh sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think at the IFC Center in New York, they're doing I believe they're doing Inland Empire tonight, so I may be
Wow.
catching that. Yeah.
Mm,
They did Inland
yeah.
Empire by coincidence at the Egyptian Theater last night, and
Hmm.
I was busy. I was booked working, but that was I heard it was an amazing experience. So,
Yeah.
R.I.P. David Lynch. What a fucking icon. What an icon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's I just completely agree. There's a local bar is going to be showing Wild at Heart in like about 2 Mondays from now, and I'm gonna get in A Straight Story and Elephant Man. Those are my only blind spots, and then
Oh
Wild at
wow.
Heart as well. But I'm just gonna get to those and then
Wait,
go
you
see
haven't
that one.
seen Wild at Heart?
No, I've never have. I've
Oh,
always
you,
wanted
that's
to.
my that is my favorite David Lynch film.
Yeah,
That's
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
he won. I can't believe he won the Palm for that one. Not that I don't like the movie. It's just a crazy David Lynch movie to win the Palme d'Or. Like,
It really is.
yeah,
It really, really is.
yeah. Well,
Oh,
I guess without further ado, we can transition to our favorite films of 2024, and then
Our
just
2024 rewind. Yes.
we're gonna talk about just the year at large. I think we all have some movies. No, don't worry. We all have.
I'm sorry. I muted it and I forgot that the space, but I was typing a chat
Don't worry.
to you, Chris, and then the space button is the mute button. So I'm so sorry.
Oh no, no, it's
That's
no worries.
okay.
My bad.
But we all have our favorites of the year, and I think we also have plenty of movies that we'd like to highlight that we really enjoyed because it and just talk about the year at large. It was an interesting year for movies. I think there was a lot of things that happened that were of note. A lot of movies that I was disappointed by. I think you could feel the strike in some of these
For
movies that came
sure.
out this year.
The box office was very weird this year too. I
Yep,
felt like a lot of films that seemed like surefire hits kind of just came and went, and films I didn't think would do very well did very well.
I
It's a very
think,
confusing year.
and I want to stay positive, but I think we can all agree that our least favorite film of the year was Not Another Church Movie from
Yeah,
Yes. That's probably the only thing we're all in agreement on. That was awful. Like, oh my
mean,
gosh.
just mean film.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
hard to even call that a film. Like, oh.
I can't believe Mickey Rourke was in it. It's a
And
really
Jamie
buzz
Foxx.
and Jamie Foxx too.
Yeah, that too.
It had some stars. It was basically just doing a version of a like Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer movie, like a date movie, but with Medea movies and Tyler
Yeah.
Perry's body of work at large. It was very weird. It was a very angry movie.
Very
But
Mm,
insulting, I think.
very insult.
Coming from, we, the three of us, as well as many of our colleagues, are pretty well versed in Tyler Perry movies. We have a sick fascination, and also I think he's actually pretty talented. This had nothing. This isn't even like criticism of him politically or what he movies stand for, or even like making fun of the craft. It's just like the most homophobic,
mm.
angry, like almost anti-religious. Like it's shockingly bad. It's such a disappointment. Like it really is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. But I think yeah, I don't anyone I know who has seen that movie has that listed as the worst of the year. Like there's no one I know who thinks that movie is remotely funny.
Yeah,
Mm,
it really is in a class of its own in that regard. But I guess we can move on to the positive stuff.
yeah.
Um, so I guess we're gonna go we're gonna go like my 10, Fulton's 10, Cody's 10, and then, my 9, Fulton's 9, Cody's 9. So
Gotcha. Yeah, just walking it down that way. Sounds
Mhm.
perfect. Do you want to mention any movies that were just outside really quick?
Oh,
Before
I
you
do. I
list
do have
10?
some, but we can go in that order. Do we want to follow that order
Yeah,
for
just like,
honorable?
list a few that missed and then hit 10.
Yeah,
Cool.
okay. These are all my so the biggest one that I think about a lot that just missed was Steve McQueen's Blitz, which was a fantastic film. I thought it was a really good war movie. It was another one of those films that I was so frustrated about its distribution and how it was totally fumbled because not a lot of people saw it, and a lot of people that did see it saw it in probably the worst way possible because it was an Apple TV original as well as a theatrical release. And a lot of people probably watched that on their couch. And I was sitting in the theater watching this movie, and I couldn't imagine watching the scene where he's escaping, where they're getting bombed out and he's in the London Underground station
Hmm.
The
and there's
flood comes in. Yeah.
flooding, and I was like,
Oh,
this is amazing filmmaking. And if and people are watching this on their couch and they're not fully understanding the gravity of what's going on, and I
I
was
felt the
the
very
same
sad.
about
Yeah.
Wolves.
Uh,
Just kidding. I have not seen Wolves.
Yeah. Okay.
I've gotten three quarters into the Instigators though.
let's
Oh,
go.
that's three-quarters too much. I saw that whole thing.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
it's a shame.
It is. It is. But Chris, did you?
Yeah, but
Sorry, not to
yeah,
interrupt
that's a
you for Blitz.
good honorable mention right there. Yeah.
um yeah, so that's my first honorable mention. I guess I'll pass it over to Fulton for his.
I'll just rattle off mine and just say like a few like quick little words. So I have La Chimera, which I know kind of it's technically is it technically a 2020? I know that the dating is
I think
kind
it
of
counts as 2024. It's weird
Yeah,
because it premiered in 2023, but it's fine.
yeah.
okay, yeah. I thought this film was so beautifully shot and you know, obviously, well, for me, not to give too much away, but is it Josh O'Connor? Josh O'Connor will kind of come up for me again, but very much
Yeah.
enjoying Josh O'Connor, his year in film. There's been a few kind of MVPs, actors and actresses wise, but I definitely think he's up there for me for this year. So just for that performance alone and the directing and just beautiful cinematography. It's amazing. Another honorable mention I have is The Apprentice, which I think is kind of being
Yes,
parlayed
yeah.
very interestingly right now, and I'm very happy for it. Obviously, a tough film to watch with our current political horizons, but I still think it's a very, very well
Yeah.
made film and an interesting film about a person in power and kind of someone that's a part of the American psyche right now. And I know some people are kind of divisive on Sebastian Stan's performance, but I adored it. I
I
thought
thought it was great. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's one of the
thought the
best of the year, in my
performances
opinion.
were
I mean, yeah,
great.
I think this was the year that I realized that I like Sebastian Stan a lot.
Yeah, and he's another man that will come up later for me as well if I can be cheeky. But so I'll talk more about Sebastian Stan, but truly, really think anyone who hasn't seen it should go and see it. I think it's a very, very interesting film. A film that another film that I think kind of got shuffled and kind of didn't get the love I thought it deserved was Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter One. I
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
don't want this one to fall to the wayside, and I'm not surprised with how vicious it was that it didn't maybe perform as well at the box office. But I really, really, really want to see this passion project through. And I love Kevin Costner with all my heart. But I think it's a very, very good Western. I'm very excited to see kind of where they take that. Did y'all have any kind of ideas on Horizon?
It's also one of my honorable mentions. It was really hard
Yeah.
not to put this in my top 10. I think
Hmm.
it's, I've been a big fan of Kevin Costner's directorial work for a while. I think he's a great actor as well. This is so, so ambitious. It's
Hmm.
such a sprawling epic, and it feels like the type of filmmaking that you don't see this anymore. Like this is operating on a level that, George Stevens and John Ford and William Wyler, like these epics used to be a thing, and this is even this. It's such a really fascinating film because it is tackling so much about what makes up the makeup of the American West. I really, really,
Hmm.
really, really hope he is able to get all four of these films made. I know the
Yeah.
second one has already premiered. I actually hear the second one is better than the first one.
Oh,
Is what the
sign
reviews say,
me
which is
up.
hard to
Yeah.
believe because
Yeah.
I thought the first one was so good. But
Well,
yeah,
when the
it's
first
it's it's
one
great.
when it ended, I leaned over to my buddy. I was like, I could sit here for three more movies, three
Yeah,
like 9 more hours. I could sit. I didn't want to leave it. I loved it. So
Yeah, it was I loved it too. I had a great time at the movies. I was the youngest person there.
I kind of feel like
Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
that
Horizon is very much my Wicked. Like this is my part one
yeah,
film
yeah.
of the year is
Yeah.
Horizon, not Wicked.
yeah.
But
Um,
that's a great one.
to round out, I just have three more that I want to talk about really quick. The order. Yes, it is meat and potatoes, but it's incredibly sturdy meat and potatoes. Like it just a really, really, really well made thriller with great performances all around.
Yeah.
Jude Law kills it. Nicholas Hoult, another MVP of the year for me, just killing it in every role that he was in this year. To me, really, really
Garfield
great.
in.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
that took me a moment. Sorry. Just I think kind of a great kind of little throwback to new Hollywood cinema as well. But I'll move on. Probably not one. Oh, well, Cody, you could have predicted this. I don't know about listeners or anyone who really follows my letterbox probably could have assumed it. But piece by piece, the Pharrell Lego movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just, I just formally as a film, it's so interesting. I don't know if they shot a documentary and then they transformed that into a Lego movie, but it really just truly like a little heartwarming film. I think has a very positive message. Feels good to watch and feels good to take in that message from him. And yeah, just the filmmaking is so wild with this film. I didn't think that it would be kind of a documentary style transformed into a narrative feature film. Like it's really quite interesting.
But it's
So
not the most ambitious musical biopic that's come out in 2024, right, Fulton?
yeah, no, for sure. And then I will finish it off with I'm mainly kind of putting this one just because I feel like it's going to get lost. And for people who return to this episode years later, if they do, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Must Foul. I just feel like
Mm.
because it's one on Netflix, I feel like it's kind of bound to get lost in the streaming soup. You know what you're expecting. You're getting what you think you would get. But I love the animation, and
Yeah.
you can show me an old man hanging. You can show me an old British man hanging out with a dog any day, and I'll probably put it on my top 10 of whatever.
Whatever. Yeah.
So this is fine for me. That's cool for me. Just honorable mentions, but
Nice. Nice. Those are good ones. All right, I'm just gonna go through them real quick. Movies that just missed my top 10 that I really love this year. Challengers, Daughters, the
yes.
documentary that's on Netflix, terrific. Seed of a Sacred Fig, thought was incredible.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it in, just too busy. People's Joker, loved the People's Joker so much. Can't fit it in for whatever reason. It was just such a competitive year. But I really, really love that film. I hope people check that out. I also had La Chimera and Horizon as my honorable mentions.
Mm,
All We Imagine is Light, one of the best films I've seen this year. It is insane that India did not pick that as their film for the Oscar submissions. I don't
mm,
understand what they are thinking. I think it would actually win and potentially beat Amelia Perez if it was considered. Some kind of shocking two that did not get into my top 10. I think we will be talking about Honora and Do Not Expect Too Much from the End of the World.
Hmm.
Both films that I
Wow.
really, really did love, but I just could not fit in there. And the last one I'm gonna shout out, we talked about it a little bit earlier because it's a film that Chris did not see. It is the film that I wanted to get in my top 10 more than any, but I just couldn't fit it in for
Oh
whatever
my
reason. I wish I could
gosh.
do a tie, and
Cody,
that is Robert
no.
Zemeckis here. Yeah, it
Oh,
is my number 11. If we were allowing ties, it would be tied. I think it is one of
Cody.
the most insane. I
Crazy.
know.
My Zemeckis brother. You've done
I
this to
know.
me. You've done this to
We're
me.
gonna. it sounds like we're gonna be talking about this film in just a little bit, but
Yeah.
I really, really did love it. I really, really, really hope people see it. I actually think it is by far the most misunderstood movie of the year.
Mhm.
Just terrific, just terrific.
uh,
Yeah. I'll second Honora with that. That one didn't make my top
yeah,
10 list,
Honora
but
didn't
I
make
did like
mine
it.
either. Yeah.
What? I thought I was gonna be like, oh wow,
No, it's
the
too
boys
long.
hate Nora.
It's way too long. It doesn't need to be like 2.5 hours. I felt the runtime. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was a good movie, but I definitely didn't like it as much as Red Rocket, which
Yeah,
was
same
Okay.
here.
yeah.
I will say emotionally for it, for me, I had a hard time kind of connecting with it. But And I think this film is way better than Beau is Afraid, but I just use it as a comparison because both of those films, there's an hour of both of these films that is the funniest thing I've seen in cinema, like in the theaters all year.
Yeah.
That middle portion of Honora where they're desperately trying to track down the husband,
Yeah, the
the
night it's
funniest thing. But then I had a hard time really connecting with it. But I still think it's a very very good film. I
Uh,
also kind of didn't put it in my top 10 because it's getting a lot of love, so I figured I
It is
would
getting
chase
a
them
lot of
off.
love, and
yeah, it
I
is.
think it is. I really loved it. I did really. I did find. I'm with you, Fulton. I thought it was really funny in that first middle or that middle section. I think the performances are really, really good. I do think the ending is a knockout. I
Mm,
actually did like it more than Red Rocket. I didn't like it as much as The Florida Project, but it is
mm.
still one of Sean Baker's very best movies for me, and I'm happy to see him get all this love. I've seen some really dumb discourse on the internet about this movie,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
I don't want to like hash that out. I'm almost glad we don't have it in the top 10, so we don't have to go into there. But it
yeah.
is I think it's a really excellent movie. I am very, very happy to see it get kind of a movie like this to get so much. I mean, it's arguably the best picture front runner. It's in the content, like it could win
Yeah.
a ton of
If
Oscars,
it
which is
does,
amazing.
if it wins the Palm, if it and Best Picture, that would be pretty crazy for them to
Be
be
pretty crazy. First,
have that
yeah.
parity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's only two other films that have done that, and that's Parasite and Marty from the 1950s. So,
Marty?
Mm.
Marty won the
yeah.
Palme d'Or?
Yeah,
Crazy.
the
Uh
first, yeah. You were at the Oscar party when Parasite happened, right? Or were
yeah,
you?
that was one of the best
Yeah,
nights of my life.
that was an incredible night. Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, when I was such a nerd, when Parasite won, I yelled, Marty, Marty, this is the first time since Marty.
Cody, I don't remember that. I'm so sorry that
I
I've
think a lot
forgotten
of us
about
don't
that moment.
remember a lot of that night. Yeah.
um it was yeah, I guess do you have any more or is that all you have?
That's it for my
Uh,
my recommend or my films that missed my. I think I listed 10. There are a
yeah,
lot of
Mm.
other movies I loved that just didn't make it in, but
yeah, I'm gonna rattle off a few more too. I didn't see or so I mean The Sweet East by Sean Price Williams
Mm.
just barely made it. What a great film, a great exploration into the east of America and just
oh god, yeah,
oh, no, it's just a
like
very
when you said it.
I guess well they say the Eastern Seaboard in the little
Yes.
log line. Um, so Christmas Eve in Miller's Point, a really really great
Mm.
film about just this fictional place in Long Island that I just it feels very it's like a warm hug just this
Yeah.
movie and kind of the big family gatherings that I remember from my childhood as someone from the Northeast with relatives that have thick Long Island accents. Um, Trap M. Night Shyamalan.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Didn't make
Yeah.
the list,
Oh, well, we'll be
How did
talking
I
about
forget
this
that?
later,
Damn,
I
yeah.
think. Yeah.
but that
Oof.
a great
Ooh.
film. And then I'll do three more. Dahomey by Mati Diop. It's a really, really interesting film about what it means to have artifacts and how that can be used as a way for colonized nations to still hold on to the colonized country's heritage
Mm.
and also still hold this type of power over them and what it means to get those artifacts back. And uh, as someone who enjoys just this type of dialogue when it comes to uh, going to a museum, and if you go to like the Met or the British Museum and you look at some of these amazing artifacts from civilizations from thousands of years ago, and you think, how did that get here? And I think that it asks those types of questions, and I really, really do want people to go see this movie. It's very, very short too, and it's on Mubi. So,
It's like
uh,
60, is it 67 or 76 or
yeah, it's
it's
like
really
70.
short?
It's
Yeah,
like, yeah, I think
70.
it's like 67. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
really it's a great watch.
yeah. Um, and then for people that really liked that really like horror movies, like Smile 2 is a movie that I think about a lot, which is surprising because I really didn't like the first movie, but I think that this one does something really interesting. And one of the hands down the greatest experience I had at the cinema this year was going to see Smile 2 with a full crowd of people and everybody just screaming at all the ridiculous jump scares. And I guess last thing I can say is Better Man, the Robbie
Yes.
Williams
Yes,
chimpanzee
you gotta
movie, or
shout that out. Yeah.
Fuck.
Robbie Williams monkey movie.
DJ.
I don't really like the music of Robbie Williams. I really don't know too much about Robbie Williams as an American.
Mhm.
My knowledge is very limited, but I really did have a fun time with this, and I wouldn't have cared about this movie if he was a CGI monkey, but they really do make it work by just
Mhm.
never acknowledging that he's a monkey, other than in the voiceover at the beginning where he says that he's always thought of himself as a monkey. Perfect. Per-
Yeah.
Perfect biopic.
I agree.
No
I agree.
notes.
That is an honorable mention. I forgot we were going to talk about that on the new episode of the podcast, but in a way we still are, you know.
Yeah, we still are.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I looked at my partner when we got out of the theater and I was like, you know what? I love that film, but I don't know if I'm a fan of the music. But the more I've heard his music, the more I'm like, okay, I kind of get it. You know, I'm warming up to it. But
Yeah.
just the images put on screen, it has to be seen to be believed. You know, it's
Yeah.
just insane. And the transitionary like musical sequences are insane. Like they're
I know.
just so good.
The choreography for the musical numbers is pretty impressive, and it's not something that you see a lot in musicals and
It
film
also just
now.
like, yeah, the choreography, but it looks like a real movie. You know, like this is not, it doesn't
Yeah.
look flat, even though you are relying on CGI. Like it does look like a real musical, and it has an emotional heart that
Mhm.
so many of these musicals that just they can't quite land. It's not my favorite musical of the year. We're going to talk about my favorite musical in a bit because I don't think you all have seen it yet. But this one is really, really good. It absolutely deserves a shout out. I got to see this early back in October, and I was just telling people y'all are not ready for this.
Mhm.
Um, you're really not ready for what this movie does. It's really, really good. I hope people keep seeing it. I think it's
Yeah.
going to be a huge cult movie for years to come.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
I think I could go on, so I have to stop myself. Yeah. Ricky Stenicki, Bad Boys for Life. Uh, the
For the
Devil.
Martin Lawrence performance
Yeah.
alone, for
Did
Bad
that
Okay,
Boys.
yeah, if we're
opening?
doing performances of the year, that's different.
Yeah, Martin Lawrence and Bad Boys for Life, especially
As
in that
number
opening
one.
sequence, and just me and friend of the show Reagan's film going experience at Bad Boys for Life. Well, we had a very great audience. We had somebody that took their newborn to opening weekend of Bad Boys for Life, um, which is
Oh,
insane.
it's
Just
amazing.
Yeah.
um,
That almost rivals the newborn that was in my Benedetta screening of Paul
That's
Verhoeven's
so
film.
great.
yeah, I remember
That's
you.
exceptional. That was also with friend of the pod Reagan. That was a crazy moment. We were like, "Are you kidding me? This is you know."
I mean,
You,
dedicated for Hoven head. I
yeah, I
mean,
know.
really,
Yeah.
to take your
Mhm.
child there,
All right, so I guess without further ado, let's get into it. I really didn't expect this to be my top 10, but I weighed everything and I looked and here it is. So my 10th favorite film of 2024 was Challengers by Luca Guadagnino. Um what a that was like the first film that I watched in 2024 that I adored. I
yeah.
think I was because it came out fairly early in the year and it was actually pushed back because of the strike. And I think the fact that it was released in a sea of mediocrity, I think really helped it. It didn't get buried by like end of year stuff, and people were talking about it for a while. And I think that that really helped the film catch on with a lot of people. But it's
Hmm.
just a great film about a love triangle, about relationships, and then tying it into this tennis metaphor because they're all tennis players. And I just had a really great time. And the Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross score greatly aided that enjoyment of the film. But
Yeah, that's got
just
to be
real,
score of the year, right?
yeah,
It's gotta be.
definitely, yeah,
It's gotta be. Like, I mean, I agree with you, Chris. It was a film that I really wanted to get around to because I love Luca's work. Call Me by Your Name was like my favorite, probably my. I mean, I know it was definitely in the top two or three of 2018, 2017 when that film
yeah,
came out.
Mhm.
So I was super excited about this one, and then I was just surprised by how much of like a cultural blip it had. Like it became like a pretty big cultural phenomenon there for a moment. Um, and I just feel like everyone was talking about it, and I was just so excited to see it. And I saw it like this year was just quite a busy year for me between work and finishing up my college or college and everything. So I didn't get a chance to see it like opening night. So I saw it like a week or two after. Full house. I mean,
yeah.
random Wednesday, Thursday, or whatever, full house. And so it was just very fun to be in an audience. It's a very
Yeah.
horny film, so that was a little funny for me, to be in a full audience. But I mean, just to be feeling the emotions of everyone getting caught up in all of like the ping ponging of relationships, pun intended, but of the film, but just so well written, so well acted. Again, Josh O'Connor, killing it. Zendaya does great. Mike Feist,
Hmm.
Yeah.
just so well done. I think I really love when Luca spans a lot of time in his films. I really enjoyed that with Suspiria, and enjoyed it here. But I will just go ahead and say that's my number 10 as well, Chris.
Okay,
So
great.
that's very
Okay.
fun
Oh,
that
wow.
correlated
Wait,
in
both
that
of you
way.
so I knew it was in Fulton's 10. I didn't know it would be also 10. That's incredible.
Yeah.
um,
So, oh, wow.
we'll probably have some debating the higher up I go, but that's the fun of
That's
it.
good. That's
Yeah.
fun. That's fun. Yeah, no, that was one of my honorable mentions. I thought it was great.
Hmm.
Really, probably also one of the more fun theater experiences for me. My 10 is one that we talked about on Chris's honorable mentions. It's Steve McQueen's Blitz. I maintain that I still think Steve McQueen's arguably the greatest working filmmaker. This is an incredible achievement. I am just shocked at how many people dislike this film. I know you had mentioned that not enough people saw this in theaters, and that could affect it. That's a
Yeah.
possibility. But the amount of people who have texted me ever since I've been telling people, I've been trying to bang the drum, go see this, watch this at home, just see this film. It's so incredible. People will text me and they say, I turned it off after an hour. I turned it off after 30 minutes. It's boring. It's not very interesting. The kid's annoying. And I'm shocking to me because I typically don't like kids. I think kids can be a little bit of annoying subject matter, but even I, as cynical as I can be, can sympathize with a child during wartime. Like this is an incredible, you know, journey that he is on, and I totally understand the apocalypse now. references. I also think the or comparisons more so, but I do think it is a really towering achievement. I wish it was getting more love. I really hope people seek it out. Steve McQueen does not miss. This is the second year in a row where I'm going to have a film in my top 10 by Steve McQueen. So I am really, really happy to see him once again continue to work. I hope more people seek it out.
Wait, what movie did he release last year?
Occupied City,
Hmm.
God, I didn't
incredible
even.
documentary.
And before then,
Oh
it was the
yeah.
Small Axe, right? The Small Axe
Small
Well,
Axe
series,
that came out in 2020, yeah, but
2020. Okay.
those were all. Yeah, I actually recently for the Blitz release over here in Los Angeles, they showed Lovers Rock,
Hmm.
great
which
film.
they
Yeah.
showed it in the theater, and it was oh my gosh, I mean, it was incredible. I still That's probably my favorite film of the decade so far.
Wow.
Uh, and I think I just think he's an incredible filmmaker. I really do, and I think this is a story that it is classical. It is more of a what some might consider more of a mainstream story, but it's so well done. I think the performances are all so good, and it is such a sprawling epic of this little boy's journey back home that I just really, really, really found moving. I really hope people see this movie.
Nice.
Well, yeah. I mean, I completely agree, Cody. Well, we'll continue to always criticize streaming platforms and the
Always,
shoddy
they they
Yeah.
distribution.
they shot it. But it is odd to me that this one didn't even get the critics on their side. I mean, the critics generally liked it, but a lot of people were pretty harsh to this movie. It's baffling
Hmm.
to me, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
We love it. We like it. You should see it.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah,
You should.
for sure.
All right, and so my next film for my ninth pick is a technically a 2023 movie, but I mean, it got released here in 2024, which is Hamaguchi's "Evil Does Not Exist," which I really loved. It's a great little kind of small film about what gentrification does to a community and how you can the ramifications and ripple effect of something that is a development comes to this community under the guise of being good for the job for jobs and for the economy, but the people in the community just like outright reject it. And I think it really says something uh, very poignant about what that means. And I thought that I kind of I just really appreciated what what he was saying, and I think that a lot of people will. It's a very very like small kind of austere movie. It's on the Criterion Channel. I unfortunately missed out on the theater seeing this one, but everybody should go see it.
Yeah, I agree. Good film. Good choice right there.
Yeah. So I guess I wanted to say this when I started out my list. Kind of the way I tried to angle my list was to films that I thought probably weren't going to get a lot of love, but that I personally really, really enjoyed. And I guess that's probably how everyone kind of tailors their list. But so I will admit I might have a few that might be a little odd on the list, but I also was kind of not happy that I wasn't able to stay as up to date with seeing newer stuff. So I just have a ton of blind spots. So if you hear me not say anything about some of the films that we've mentioned here before, I just didn't get around to them. Like there are so many films from this year. I have like a list of like 60 films I want to get to.
Me as well. Yeah.
And so, and that's probably how it always is. But just if you are shocked that I don't have any particular film on my list, that's just why I just haven't gotten around to it. But
Yeah. So everybody, take your pitchforks down. Fulton
yeah,
hasn't seen Amelia Perez yet.
I have not, and it was probably going to be number one, you know. But
Right, right.
but number nine is the Bike Riders for me.
Oh yeah.
I feel like uh I really love just little glimpses into like cultural kind of moments in America. And I feel like this is kind of a lost kind of group. Like we still obviously have like biker gangs and those still
But they're all
are
like
with us
old
today.
guys, kind of.
Yeah, like eating cheeseburgers and clanking beer bottles you know what I mean. But I feel like
Yeah.
this version of a biker gang is not really present. But I also find it interesting about Tom Hardy's character. Like, what does he get out of being the leader of a biker gang? It's kind of a double life for him, and it's really leading into like the macho male type thing. But I mean, all around great performances. I thought it was beautifully shot. Austin Butler, I guess this has also been a very good year for him as well between Dune 2 and this.
Yeah.
But I really just loved the atmosphere of this film and the vibe. It's probably arguably not as well made as Challengers, I will say, but I can probably find myself returning to it a little bit more easy. It's a lighter watch, I feel like, in some ways, although it does have its
The
very
subject matter, yeah,
sad
it's
matters.
funny
You know,
to hear lighter
yeah. Now that I'm
uh,
thinking about it, I may be tripping over myself a little bit
I
because there are some pretty harsh moments, but the casting is real. I mean, Norman Reedus as a bike rider, I feel like how has that not happened before? You know,
yeah.
or not happened narratively? You know, so
Or the scene at the end where you see a lot of the shots in the film, and because it's partially based off of photojournalism taken of this bike
with Mike
gang.
Feist
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. And you see some of the pictures from the actual photos, and you see how they've been recreated in this film. And I really I liked that part too in the credits. And I thought, yeah, I enjoyed this movie too. I mean, it isn't in my top 10, but it was one of my favorites. So
Yeah, it's very just time period accurate. And I love seeing kind of the change and morphing of what a biker gang is and what that means
Is
to
yeah.
certain people, you know. So that's very interesting. And you can kind of see if you really want to go into it, but you can kind of see how it's changed. You know, there are hints at how it's changed to what it is now. But you
yeah,
know,
Yeah, it's a good film. I really enjoyed that one. Jeff Nichols always a director you got to see every film he comes out with. You know, it's
yeah,
just
for
terrific.
sure.
I would agree. Yeah.
Um, Another film that's already been mentioned, I think Chris mentioned it. It's my number nine. It's M. Night Shyamalan's new film, Trap. I adored this
Yeah,
movie. I
yeah.
adored this movie. I adored this movie. All of us are pretty big Shyamalan heads.
Hmm.
This I wouldn't say this is his best film, but my God, it is one of them. This is really, really, really rock solid. I think this is probably, if not my favorite, it's probably my second favorite performance of the year is Josh Hartnett. Like, I think he is really carrying this film. It's a powerhouse performance. It is one of the all-time great premises of any movie, and I will maintain that the second trailer for this film is the greatest trailer I have ever seen in my life. I mean, this
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
exciting, thrilling movie. It's also a film that when you think it takes its premise to the extreme and then goes even further. Like, I really had no idea where this was going to go. I think he knocks it out of the park with the ending. I think he has a great emotional toll to this film that is underrated. I think you don't really see that coming. And my God, the filmmaking is so good. It is so
Hmm.
good to watch. It is so thrilling to watch. It is perfectly acted. It's a great film. It's a great, great film. Highly recommend. You're going to see it on a lot of top 10 lists. I know that Cahiers de Cinema put it at number, I think, 2 or 3. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's
Yeah,
Oh
a
wow.
it's a big hit.
yeah, Kaede de Cinema loved this movie, so
They loved it, and
yeah,
it's deservedly so. I think it is one of the
yeah,
better
Hmm.
films of the year. Highly recommend people check it out if you haven't. I'm sure most of you have seen it. I know a lot of people also. There's some haters out there. It's a movie, guys. It's a movie. If you think it's
Yeah.
stupid, because the amount of people who have been like, "Well, that wouldn't actually happen."
yeah. Who
Well,
cares? Yeah,
you know what?
yeah,
Star Wars is in your top 4, man. That's
Yeah.
not happening.
yeah. I completely agree, Cody. I
But
thought
yeah,
Hartnett's performance is so good because he manages to make like a serial killer like a likable guy. Like in the
Yeah.
beginning, especially like because you know that he if you watch the film and you know that he's a serial killer from the trailer, you're like, oh, he's trying to like, he's trying to like, connect with his daughter and stuff. That's so sweet. But he's like, a psychopath, but it's like he just sells that he sells like these two sides of his personality so well.
Yeah.
It's a very, very great performance.
And I think this is like setting him up for a really great like reconnaissance for him, like a really great rejuvenation, because he's in a new 2025 film where it's like I've heard it's like John Wick on a plane, so you know that
Oh
type of
yeah, I
action
saw a
yeah,
photo of
is,
that. It looks
up for
wild.
debate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And he's
it
great
looks
in Oppenheimer
awesome.
too.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yes, yes, yes,
this
yes,
is going to
yes,
be
yeah,
yeah. He's having a resurgence, and what a great performance. I love yeah.
yeah,
What Josh Hartnett for life.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
okay, so my eighth favorite film of this year was it's it is technically feature length, but it is Rap World,
Oh my
directed
God,
by
Chris.
direct uh,
I knew
directed
this was
by
coming.
Yeah, yeah,
directed by Connor O'Malley and Danny Sharer.
my man.
And so Connor O'Malley is someone that I've been a fan of his work for about 4 years now. But it's great to see him branch out into filmmaking
Mhm.
with Rap World as well as Corey's and The Mask. I think was another one that came out.
Yes.
Uh, but this one is it just captures it's like it captures a sleepover in 2009 with like friends so well. And I mean, I was 9 in 2009, so I was having different sleepovers than these guys, for sure. But it's like all the technology and all the very they had a very, very small budget, but what they're able to do with that and all the little quirks of that era is just I think I just really want to highlight that. I think it's
Mhm.
it's a very, very funny movie. It's it's about these guys that these three guys that are in a rap group and they're gonna record their rap album and one night and like all of them are like kind of guys that have never left their hometown of Tobyhanna, Pennsylvania, and they yeah, that's really all I'll say. I just think it's just so funny, so well made. Just yeah, I every just go watch it. It's on YouTube.
Mhm.
It's free. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to catch up with it. I like Connor O'Malley. Your review had sold me earlier. I saw him perform stand up last year. It's very funny.
and Fulton
Oh,
saw him
yeah.
last year too.
I
Yeah.
did
Yeah,
too.
so
Yeah.
he's really really a great presence. So yeah, gotta see it. Gotta catch up.
Yeah. Well, Chris.
Oh my gosh.
So my number eight is I'm kind of cheating a little bit, but I'm grouping Rap World and Stand Up Solutions, his stand up comedy special from last year together, kind of as a. I mean, guys, you just gotta see. If you haven't seen it, it is like he is kind of a performer to behold. Really, like, just purely electric performance on stage and in front of the camera, I guess. Yeah, no, Rap World and Stand Up Solutions is my number eight pick. So it's very funny that me and you have correlated twice.
Yeah.
Twice now. Y'all are really
Yeah.
circled up. Yeah, crazy.
I have a feeling that's
Um,
probably going to be about it, but we'll see. We'll see. I can't really say anything that Chris hasn't already said about Rap World. But Stand Up Solutions, I think, is just absolutely brilliant. It's so damn funny. Just the way he's kind of mixing like stand-up comedy, filmed material, and pre-made like media, and mixing all of that stuff together for a live performance and doing crowd work. And
Yeah.
like I did see him live, and I mean, you just please go see him. He's so funny live. But yeah, no, Rap World is just an incredible treat. I really just hope that this creative team keeps growing and keeps going. And I mean, in the cast alone, it features like, I mean, Connor O'Malley is probably my favorite working comedian right now. But if you look at the cast, like just so many funny damn people that in their own right could definitely handle a film.
Yeah.
And so please just look into the cast, go find and listen to all their stuff. There's the podcast about List Guys, which Chris got me into. I'm a huge fan of them. I love their little cameos. It's really like a very cameo heavy for like the, I don't want to say underground, but kind of like alt New York comedy scene. So that's very fun if you're into any of that stuff. So yeah,
They're
Stand Up Solutions Rap World is my number 8.
and they're actually playing Rap World along with Trash Humpers in the same series at Metrograph this
Oh,
month.
nice.
So
Oh yeah.
That's pretty fun.
I was gonna say, I guess like I like Rap World in the same vein that I like Bike Riders. It's just like a small little slice of the American experience in a specific point in time. So
that's such a good connection, Fulton. I would have never connected the two. But now that you say it, like it totally makes sense though. Is
yeah,
the thing.
Yeah.
it's a very very small experience, but yeah. So
But it's very rewarding. Nice,
yeah.
nice. Okay, I gotta check. I haven't even seen the stand-up special. I
Oh,
got some
Cody,
catching up to do.
it is
I know,
wild,
I know.
so
I gotta
wild.
do it. I
Yeah.
gotta do it. So my number 8, really the next 8 are kind of all interchangeable for me.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
I would say, but we're right now. So like, if my list gets published later and it changes, I'm sorry, this 8 could change. Number 8, I think we all probably, I hope, have this on our list somewhere, is Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis. This was my number 1 for a little while. I've seen it 3 times, including at a screening with the man himself. That was pretty otherworldly. It really is the type of movie that I didn't know was like it defies all logic, really. It really is an experience unlike anything I've ever had at the cinema. I think it's full of some of the bravest, most audacious performances I've seen. It is totally experimental, unapologetically experimental, but also extremely earnest about the future of humanity. And I found some of the filmmaking to be as just captivating and innovative as anything I've seen from Coppola. And some of the shortcomings are, if you look at it in the right lens, actually features of the film because of the just bravado that which is, I mean, this is such a massive undertaking, and it really is unpredictable. There's so much to say, and there's also almost nothing to say about this film. I've seen this on a lot of worst of movies list, and I've also seen it on some of the best of lists. It's the most divisive film of the year for sure.
And then the words
Uh,
of Adam Driver's character in Megalopolis, when we have a dialogue, that's when
yes,
things really
I I'm working on a piece for Megalopolis that I hope to release soon. That is going to talk about something. I shouldn't spoil it here, but it is amazing just what happened in the year 2024 that Coppola was able to predict with the rise of Elon Musk, even more so now. Fascinating that I'll save my best line. I was going to save it, but we'll say it here. I do think Coppola, fascinatingly, he anticipates the phenomenon of Hawk Tuah with WoW Platinum. Even with the name WoW Platinum, which is as
Do you think Elon set
easy
the
to say as
Bitcoin
Hawk
up?
Tuah. I mean, it's an interesting thing because the movie is so critical of extreme wealth, but also shows how extreme wealth is our future, but you have to use it in a way humanely. But they also commit atrocities to achieve Megalopolis.
yeah.
And
Mhm.
people like it's such a rich text, and the more you watch it, the more you think about what does the future of humanity
Like he
look
like
like.
completely displaces an entire community to build
And then those
Megalopolis.
Yeah.
people become radicalized and violent, which is going to happen. So what do you do? And then it's like the movie's begging us to look at the future instead of worrying about the present. But but at the sake of that, you are seeing extreme atrocities created there. It's really interesting. It does touch on climate change and war as well. It's a fascinating movie. It's
And
a
and Meg
sprawling cast.
and Megalopolis like looks like a Windows XP screensaver for some reason.
Yes, but then
It's very
also, so
interesting.
I do think one of my favorite sequences of the year is the Coliseum bit for John Voight's character's birthday, which is just some of the most like, how on earth does someone write down these ideas? And the editing is so fantastic. Also, got to give out a shout out. My MVP, there's a lot of MVPs for the year. My big MVP of the year is got to be Jason Schwartzman. He's
Oh
terrific
yeah,
here. He's
Yeah, that's
terrific in
right.
Between the
yeah.
Temples.
Last
He has a great
Showgirl.
little, you like great little bit in Last Showgirl. There's another film which I know is going to be divisive that we're going to talk about later. That I think
Oh.
he's terrific in. So,
Mm.
anyways, that's my spiel on Megalopolis. Please go see it. I'm sure you'll hate it. I'm sure you'll love it. As long as you feel one way or the other, it's okay by
Yeah,
me.
Mm.
I unfortunately was not a fan. I had such lofty expectations, but perhaps maybe a few years from now down the line I'll give it a rewatch and I'll completely my mind will be changed. Uh
I say let him keep going.
yeah, no,
We
I
need to
wanted
fund him,
Yeah.
to.
man. Let him keep going. Let's not, So,
Uh
Dude,
um,
I mean, I listened
you
to
know,
him speak for 90 minutes. That brain is as sharp as ever. He can totally make more films.
mm.
I mean, so you saw the Coppola, Robert De Niro,
Yes.
Spike
Spike
Lee
Lee.
discussion.
Oh, I saw that as well. Yeah, that was incredible. Yeah. I mean, it's an amazing
That was where
it's amazing.
that was where De Niro like just was not like he was just kind of like
Well, De Niro posed the question, what would Megalopolis look like if it was directed by Donald Trump?
Which is a fascinating
which
question.
is a
Which
fascinating
It's a
really
question.
does
fascinating
make you
question.
think. Yeah. So, yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, so my seventh favorite film of the year was, I'm assuming, I know Fulton hasn't seen this film yet, but I know
Mhm.
Cody has, so maybe it will be on his list too, but it's Paul Schrader's O Canada,
Mm. It didn't
which
make my list, but I loved it.
I thought some people weren't too charitable to it, but I thought it was a really brilliant meditation of a filmmaker near the end of his life. And just, I don't know, just Schrader's really just, I think I liked it. I mean, I wouldn't say that I liked it more than First Reformed, but I'd probably say it's my second favorite of his films since First Reformed that he's made. I thought I love anything about shattering the myth of something, and this was a really great one of those types of films. I thought Richard Gere was really good. Jacob Elordi, some people have criticized his performance, but I really didn't mind it too much, and I thought it was just a great movie about somebody at the end of his life just reckoning with the choices that he made and how like people he was just kind of a guy that was in the right place at the right time and how the people that are interviewing him look up to him but he's telling them a completely different story and he's just on his deathbed just kind of thinking about all the decisions that he made in his life to get to that point.
Hmm.
It's Oh yeah, really, really somber movie. I hope that it's another one. I hope Paul Schrader just keeps making movies for forever and ever. We need to make sure that he could keep saying what he wants to
Keep making
say.
them. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure. um, my my number seven is Furiosa, and I know that they might
Mm.
turn a little heads, but I am a very big George Miller head, and I truly don't think like there's anyone working at his level of spectacle for like blockbuster action cinema. And I just think some of these action sequences that he puts to screen are just truly like I saw the film once, and then I don't live near an IMAX theater, so I drove out of my way. I made it a whole day thing because I just wanted to be completely engulfed in the spectacle that he's able to put up on screen. And I know it's kind of not as exciting as Fury Road because it is a follow up and it's a prequel. So I don't really know why this film did not perform as well as it did. It kind of seemed like there was a lot of excitement leading up to it. Um,
Yeah,
and
yeah, it's one of the weird disappointments in terms of box office because I'm
Yeah.
with you. It's going to show up on my list here later too. I think
Mhm.
it's exceptional. I think it's the great blockbuster of the year.
Yeah.
So I'm a little surprised by that too. The
Mhm.
scene with the parachuting,
Oh my
the hang
God.
glide, like it's just
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
worth the price of admission
Um,
alone. I mean, that
Also,
it's just
I mean,
insane.
how are we not? You know, how are we not giving the Oscar to Chris Hemsworth? Like, come on, people! Like,
It
come
is a
on!
great
This
Yeah,
is
it's a
a
great
performance.
this is one of
performance.
the
Yeah.
great villain
Yeah.
performances I've seen, and I didn't know he had it in him. He had it in to make it epic, or whatever the line is. Yeah,
Let's
it's
make it. Do you have what it takes to make it epic?
make it epic. Yeah, no, but it's great. It's a great, what a great choice. Yeah, definitely
He,
should be on everyone's top 10, I think.
yeah, George Miller is one of those direct. I mean, and it's a common theme just by listening to us in general. But how is he not one of these filmmakers? We are dumping money at his front door. Just go do whatever you want, man. Just okay, maybe not another Happy Feet, but that's fine, But just do whatever you
Yeah.
want, man. Just
Yeah,
like
I know. I mean,
Hey, I'll
because
take another babe. I'll take another babe.
that's yeah. And I haven't seen Happy Feet too, to be fair. But I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
I
because
just think that man, his brain just is able to conceive of just truly amazing, just his pacing of action, the way he shoots it, and the way he shoots large environments, but still being able to focus on very small characters within those environments. Like I'm thinking of the attack on the Bullet Farm, where it's just the giant cavern, but you're still completely focused on Furiosa and forgetting the her partner in that scene. But you can still track all of these different characters while looking at a giant cavern. Just really, really exceptional to me.
yeah,
But mm,
I really like that movie too. I kind of left it out of my honorable mentions because I knew that one of you guys would have it on your list. But
yes,
yeah, what a great
that's
movie. I
fair.
agree. George Miller, unfortunately, I mean, 3,000 Years of Longing was another great one that not a lot
Really
of
love
people
that one.
saw,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I really love that movie. One of my favorites, 2022.
Two,
Yeah,
It was two.
2020,
Yeah.
2022.
Two,
Yeah.
two, yeah.
But yeah, so I co-sign what you said. He had it in him to make it epic.
Make it epic. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, my number seven is Christmas Eve in Miller's Point. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier with
Ew,
Chris.
yeah.
I think it is really one of those great, just universal feelings. I've seen this on some worst of lists overseas, which is hilarious. I don't think this is really hitting for anyone who's not an American and
It's fair.
celebrates
Probably just doesn't
holidays. Yeah,
translate. Yeah.
Mm.
right, right. I know because when it premiered at Cannes, it got some pretty mixed reviews, but I think it's terrific. Tyler Taormina, is how you say it, or Taormina? I've never been able to say his last name because I've talked about his film Ham on Rye before, and I just call him Tyler. But he's really, really an exceptional filmmaker. I think this is such a good film. Really great cast. It's also just very, very funny. Has a strong emotional pull to it. It's a movie that's not really about anyone, but that makes it about everyone. I think it is a very special film. It's a film I think I'm going to return to constantly. I can't remember the last time I saw a Christmas movie that is like, oh, I'm going to watch this every Christmas. Like, when's the
Mm.
last time I've seen something new like that? I don't
The
know. Maybe The Nice
holdovers.
Guys.
Yeah, that was going to be
No,
my.
okay, yeah, y'all can say the holdovers, but not Cody. Um, but yeah, no, I love this film. I love this film. Strongly recommend. Hope people check it out.
I mean, yeah, just the Greg Turkington, Michael Cera cop duo that
Oh
they
yeah,
play.
very
Oh,
I
very interesting.
At first I thought that they were never going to talk in the beginning of the film. Like I thought they were kind of going to do like a Keystone Cops like slapstick type bit, but then they do end up talking. But I just
Yeah, it becomes pretty good.
yeah, I just God, there's so many things that I loved about this movie. The the whole like Matilda Fleming, the main one of the main girls, and the relationship, the tenuous relationship between her and her mom, like it just made me really sad. Like she has the gift for her and she never gives it to her mom, and God, yeah, I really did enjoy this movie, and I think I agree with you, Cody. I'll be revisiting this at Christmas, and I think I will be showing it to my family.
Yeah, Nice. What's your number six, Mr. Chris?
Okay, well, my number six is Brady Corbett's The Brutalist. Banana, as people say. Uh, but yeah,
Oh wait, I
really,
got it queued up. Here you go, Chris. You can say it again. You ready?
banana.
Was that
What's
too
that?
low?
That was, oh my gosh.
Oh, that's not the. Oh,
The
sorry.
list. Oh,
Um, yeah, so I mean, I saw that I was fortunate enough to catch this at the New York Film Festival this year with a packed house of people and with a great Q&A after with basically everyone in the cast in attendance, from Brady Corbett to Adrian Brody to Stacey Martin to Joe Alwyn to Guy Pearce to I mean, Felicity Jones. So really, really lovely. Everybody loved it in that moment.
You sat right next to Taylor Swift, right? And y'all were gabbing the whole time about
Yeah,
Joe,
yeah, we
right?
couldn't believe that
Yeah.
Joe Alwyn had the gall to show his face
Yeah.
where in a place where Taylor is in attendance. Um, yeah, but I really did love this movie. The sense of epic scale that it is able to accomplish with such little amount of money is something that's really remarkable. And I think it tells a great story about the American dream and what people think the American dream is and how is it truly even able to be attained, or the grass is always greener almost, and kind of how people will I mean there's been this whole thing the past, this could be completely like, it may not even matter, like, well, 2 weeks down the line. But based on what people have said, there have been reports that he used a generative AI, Corbett, for the Hungarian accent that Adrian Brody does.
yeah, or
And
Mhm.
Adrian Brody and Felicity. Yeah, that they used it to
Yeah.
like to sharpen up the. It's interesting. I don't know what that all entails.
yeah,
Um,
I don't
and it
know.
also could mean. I mean, I don't know. You look back. This company that's been doing this has been doing this for a long time. I don't know quite how AI this really is, but who knows? I don't know much about it. I haven't even really. I read it this morning, right when I woke up, and I was like, "What?"
Hmm.
But it might not be as scandalous as I think some
Yeah.
initial reports are.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
not
Oscar
like
voting is also finished, so for
it's all, yeah.
nominations, it won't matter.
Well, yeah, so we'll see what happens. I just think I don't want to, innocent until proven guilty.
Mm.
Also, like, I don't know,
Very
like,
important for what we're for some other films we're going to talk about.
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. Um, yeah. So, but I really did. I think it's well worth the 3.5 hours.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And just a really great score. I would say probably my second favorite after Challengers.
Mhm. I
Yeah,
Even
I
totally
do
valid.
think this one. So this one has just not come near me yet, which is very frustrating. I've texted the group chat multiple times, venting my frustration that this movie has not come near me yet. This is the one that I think could take number one. Really, if I had seen it in time, I'm a huge Brady head. I Vox Lux. I know me and Chris are divide. We don't see eye to eye on that one, but I loved Vox Lux, and I even really like The Dictator. Is it called The Dictator? Or, it's his first film was about the dictator, or about a dictator, essentially. But
he didn't direct The Apprentice.
You talking about the
yeah.
crowd? Oh, the childhood of a
No,
leader.
Yeah,
childhood of a leader. Yeah, it's
yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's basically trying to. I mean, it's actually kind of similar to The Apprentice, and like how can a man transform into, because the childhood of a dictator is basically looking at what are the formative years of Adolf Hitler.
Of the yeah,
So
interesting.
yeah, I'm not.
yeah,
Obviously there's a lot to unpack in that
yeah,
comparison. I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
saying, in terms of how did someone rise to power, I'm not, that's a whole nother discussion. Just saying, I opened a
Yeah,
bag of worms, but yeah.
yeah. Well, um, I'm assuming The Brutalist is on Cody's list too.
It's my
So
number five. Yeah,
okay.
it's
Mm.
it's great. Yeah, made by number five. So yeah, it's a It's terrific. I think Adrian Brody is one. He's fantastic. I think it's one of his best roles. Maybe his best role I've ever seen. Also, got to shout out Guy Pearce. Guy Pearce is terrific.
Yeah.
Menacing, horrifying, up there with Chris Hemsworth for best supporting performance of the year.
Mm.
It's really really good. It's really remarkable. It has such unbelievable hype. You hear comparisons to The Godfather. You hear comparisons to Once Upon a Time in America as this sort of epic sweeping movie. You don't really believe them because you're like, what on how could a movie even operate on that level? You watch the movie and you're like, it is kind of tapping into those epic
Oh
filmmaking.
yeah.
It's going to be a movie that we're going to talk about for years to come.
I 100%
Um,
agree.
you see a lot of There Will Be Blood comparisons. I even like it. I like it even more than that film. Like I think this is a really, really terrific movie. Strongly
Yeah.
recommend. I think it's going to go well. I'm rooting for it at the Oscars. I'm rooting for
Mm.
it. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Right.
Um, should I do my number six?
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
um, so I have Red Rooms.
Fantastic film. Yeah.
Truly, yeah, and Chris, I feel like this was going to place on your list too because you highly recommended it too, and
Yeah.
it
It's
was on. I wanted to get around to it, and then you spoke so highly. I was like, okay, I need to prioritize that one. But I mean, just is it the most chilling you've ever felt besides watching Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer? Is it not the other side of the coin? In a way, it's like the terrible thing about or well I say not terrible terrible in the way that it makes you feel, but I mean Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, it puts you in the POV of the serial killer, but now imagine having to be the quote unquote normal person who lives their life and just plugs into this type of snuff material. Is that not insane and chilling in its own right? And
Right.
I think
yeah.
this film just does such a like just the atmosphere and tone and way it pulls you into this just nasty, just cold and clinical and emotionless world is just so beautiful. Like it's weird to say beautifully, filmmaking, but just in terms of its execution, it's just so just I guess masterfully would be a better word to
I,
describe it.
it's funny because I watched this movie and then the next month I went to Montreal for the first time.
Oh wow.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gnarly.
Mm,
I caught up with this film. I like this film. I don't love it as much as everyone else does, I think.
mm,
I did not find it quite as chilly. But it is good. It is a really good film, and I'm glad that people are responding to it as well as they are. And not every movie's for everybody. So I think it is good. I love the supporting performance from I can't remember her name, but the obsessive fan is
oh
terrific in this
yeah.
movie.
And then
She's great.
well, I
That
don't want to
live
spoil it yet.
screen,
It's
or,
just,
or sorry, yeah, yeah. There's a TV show bit that's phenomenal. I thought was amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Uh,
Um my number six, we already talked about it. It's Furiosa. Loved
Mm,
okay.
it.
All right.
Loved it,
Okay.
loved it, loved it.
nice.
Um, all right. Well, my number five is Aaron Schimberg's A Different Man,
Let's
which
go.
Ooh, good choice.
I I really like we said before, I think where this year really put Sebastian Stan on the map for all three of us. I think
Mm,
not that I didn't like Sebastian Stan, but I didn't know he had it in him to be in to pick these good roles. I think like other than the Marvel stuff that he was in, the only other thing that I've seen with him in it that I can remember off the top of my head is that movie Fresh with Daisy Edgar Jones, where he's like
yeah.
where it's like the meet
Oh
cute
yeah.
gone wrong, where it's like he's like a crazy cannibal.
It's kind of fun.
It's it
Light
wasn't the
light
best,
work.
it wasn't great, but it was fine. But not memorable is the thing.
Mm,
But this movie I think is really great because it's really funny, taps into what it means to like because he's a man that has this physical deformity and he undergoes a operation to like change and fix his physical deformity and then like after it goes away and he just becomes Sebastian Stan, he realizes that like that's only one facet of his personality that he's unhappy with. And it's like you can't really, just because you change yourself physically doesn't mean you can change yourself mentally and how you
Yeah.
actually act. And
Mhm.
I thought it did such a good job, and also a great performance from Adam Pearson, who
Oh, he's terrific.
yeah.
So good. I mean, if I can quote Will Sloan from the Important Cinema Club, the film is very interesting because it poses the question, what if you just have swag? And that makes for a great film, you know?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if you're
Does
just self-confident, and obviously those things take time and they take work. But no, I mean it's on my list as well. It's well, I'll get to it. I'll get where it's on my list. But no,
Okay.
I watched it last night and it immediately placed very high, as you can tell from where we're at. But just to wrap up, so beautiful. I thought it was just looked amazing. I just loved the way the film looked. The performances were a knockout.
Great
I
New
mean,
York movie. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
If you're if you're someone like Sebastian Stan, or really anyone who has kind of that cultural cachet for being, well, not only cultural cachet but financial backing from being in the MCU, is this not the best thing that you can do? Go to these smaller films and
yeah.
just act. I mean, for Sebastian Stan, really putting it all out there, and these are two very different roles. It's very
Hmm.
interesting to see
Yeah.
him. Well, okay. If we had more time, there's a lines to be connected between The
There
Apprentice. I
are. They
think,
are kind of a
now that I'm
similar.
thinking about
Yeah.
it,
The characters
yeah,
are interestingly similar. Yeah.
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 But I'll let y'all think about that. But yeah, so I'll go on to my number five. I won't talk too much about this one just because it is getting a lot of kind of awards, kind of hype. But I do have The Substance at number five.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Mm.
I know, Chris, you kind of said you were kind of contemplating your stance on it a little bit.
I mean, I think I liked it, but I don't. I think it's a little too long. But I mean,
Mhm.
I like I liked how it creates a very maximalist world that
Yeah,
I really enjoy this, this bizarro world where like a New Year's Eve show is like the biggest thing in the world and everybody watches like just a TV show where people do like fitness instruction videos and that's
yeah,
like the biggest show in the world for some reason.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good movie.
Mhm.
It's like just outside of my top 20. I really enjoyed it. It is just I mean, the ending is just they go so far with it that it is really
I loved it.
impressive. I I understand like I've heard people tell me they're like, "Oh, it's just like a one-note movie." And it is true that it is a movie about this one thing, but it takes it to its extreme. But it is and
Mhm,
it's nothing really more than that. You kind of know where this movie is heading
mhm.
very early on. But the journey it gets there is great. Demi Moore, fantastic.
I think she's a
Margaret
lock
Qualley's
in.
great.
I do think
Yeah.
though that like it's funny that A Different Man came out and I think taps into those themes a lot better than The Substance. It is with a man instead of a woman, but it's like I wish I could look better. I wish I was younger and like kind of what that entails. Or
Yeah,
there's some similarities at least.
there's some
Yeah.
similarities, and same with yeah, it's an interesting movie because it is. I do think The Substance maybe is a little has an extra layer of the effects of age,
Yes, yeah, for
whereas
sure.
the Different Man is more about physical deformity. This is a much it is kind of about age. It's also a movie about Hollywood. I think that's why this town loves this movie is because it is so much about
Hmm.
movies and celebrity and what does it mean to stay a celebrity. It's a really interesting film.
Make a good
Um,
double feature with Sunset Boulevard. Sorry, I
oh
think could
yeah,
be fun.
absolutely. Yeah, no, it's a fun movie. It's a good movie. It's kind of perverse in some ways. The most male gazy I've ever seen a movie, and intentionally
Yes.
so, as
Yes,
directed
yeah.
by Carly Forgier. But it's a fantastic film. And yeah, totally deserving.
Yeah.
My five, we also already talked about it. The Brutalist, great movie.
Yeah.
Um, just great, great. Can't wait for people to see it.
Okay, well my four is Bertrand Bonello's The Beast, which is another one that is technically, I think it's listed as a 2023 movie, but I mean, it came
I
out in
think it counts as
2020.
this year. I don't think it came out in the States till 2024.
Yeah. And so, I mean, yeah, just a really great adaptation of a Henry James story. I love the way that it's able to take this material and just really create something that's completely its own, but then also managing to draw from that uh and also making something that's just so of this time. I think George McKay, Leah Seydoux, both great, but especially George McKay. They play three different characters in this film, and I was captivated by this film. I thought it was great, and I think it really made me want to check out more Bonello, and I will.
Yeah, it's an interesting movie. It's a movie kind of similar to a movie that I had by mentions. You might actually have talked about like Do Not Expect Too Much for the End of the World, and also
Mhm.
with Red Rooms, where I think these are movies that are very much about where we are now and kind of like how technology is affecting us. Megalopolis to an extent is that as well. It's an interesting film. I do struggle with this one a little more than some of the other major movies of the year, but I do have a lot of respect. I think it is really good. I'm not upset to see it get as much praise as it's been getting. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a good movie.
yeah. Uh,
And then, so my number four is A Different Man, which I feel pretty pleased with, the coverage that we gave it. So I
Yeah,
don't really have too much
I'm
more to
I'm
add.
I'm happy you guys like. I liked that movie a lot too. It was just one of those years where I didn't get it in there, but I'm excited to see. I'm happy to see you guys like that movie so much. My number four is going to cause some stir here. It's
uh,
my favorite Luca Guadagnino film of the year, which is
Oh,
Queer,
yes. I
starring
oh,
figured it was
Daniel
going to
Craig.
place.
I adored this one. I saw it on Thanksgiving Day. I think it is, my God, like this is one of the most evocative films I've seen from Luca. I think the passion here between the two leads is really, really solid. I love this. This is a film where the first hour, it kind of feels like you're watching like gay inherent vice, like you're watching
Hmm.
like
yeah,
this
that's a
like
good
weird,
description.
like
Yeah.
kind of a mystery, right? And it has these like really gnarly needle drops, and the characters are just hopping from bar to bar, constantly drunk. You have these fascinating characters coming in and out. But the film takes a really big switch about
Jason
halfway through the
Schwartzman.
film. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jason Schwartzman,
Mhm.
another. I know Chris wasn't a huge fan of him here, but I thought he was terrific, really
Yeah.
great, very, very big boy. Um,
Yeah.
but the real MVP of the movie, I mean, besides Daniel Craig, I love Daniel Craig in the lead role. I'm fingers crossed he gets his nomination.
Mhm.
I think Leslie Manville here is wow. I knew she was in the film, was not prepared for what she was going to do with this. This whole second act of the film, really, yeah, but basically the second half, um, is the two characters going down to Central America in search of ayahuasca, and they encounter Leslie Manville, who basically babysits them through their first ayahuasca trip. And it is one of the most inspired. I mean, this is just like such like fascinating use of editing and performance and music. And I just have not seen anything like this. Even parts of it reminded me of a film that I really love that people hate, Andrew Dominic's Blonde. But I think it's even
Mm.
better than that. Like I think it is a really just, I mean, really emotional film that I absolutely loved. I uh I have seen some people give it some hate. I found it better than Challengers. I found it pretty profound, made me think a lot about my own relationships, what it means to love, what is the purpose of love, and on top of that, just the craft really, really struck me. I recently was asked what I thought the best David Lynch film was that was not directed by David Lynch, and I said Queer. I think it does have some genuine Lynchian
uh,
tendencies. It's a great movie, but I know people hate it.
I'm I'm definitely one that wasn't a fan. I think I also just had this idea in my mind of what I want a Burroughs adaptation to be like, and it's more like Naked Lunch by Cronenberg, which is not what this is, and I felt like it kind of missed
No,
out on
no.
Mm.
it missed out on a lot of like the grimier aspects of like Burroughs's work, I think. But I I don't I appreciate that some people really liked it. I wish I was more of a fan. I did really like Daniel Craig's performance though, and Drew Starkey too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep, Drew
for sure.
Starkey.
Yeah, I I do like it. I'm hoping with time it'll kind of grow more on me. But I had a hard time kind of really getting into it. And maybe external factors are kind of causing that, like where I saw it, which that's a whole different thing. That's not an actual mark against the film. But I will say, I mean, one of the most beautiful images I think I've seen all year is that final shot. And I won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but I really do love that from like the ayahuasca to the end. I loved all of that stuff, and I'm not saying I didn't like the first half. I just particularly had a harder time kind of getting into the film
Yeah, I would agree.
during
Yeah.
that first half. But you
Yeah.
know, that's might grow on me. So I have a lot of love and admiration for Luca's work. So I might just need more time.
Um, well, I guess my third favorite film of this year is one that I think we're all gonna be talking about ASAP, and that is Clint Eastwood's Juror Number Two,
Yes.
That's right.
the little
That's
movie that
right.
could.
Yeah.
So just background, this film was supposed to get a theatrical release and it did, but they scaled down the distribution on how wide it could be
Really sniped it.
to the point that it was only playing at like one theater in like every major city. I think it was playing in three theaters in New York, maybe two theaters in New York, but that just shows you. I think in LA it was similar, right, Cody?
Pretty similar. I think it was two. I think it might have been three theaters. I think it played at the Grove, Century City, and one of the Burbank theaters.
And then in Atlanta, it was playing at one theater, but it was like in more of a suburban Atlanta.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
they eventually added Pooler, Georgia, because a lot of the crews from Savannah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was crazy that it wasn't added initially because it was filmed in Savannah.
Which is insane.
But yeah, I mean, this is a really great film. I'm really happy that a lot of people are now discovering it on HBO Max, which is funny that they're saying it's a Max original now when you go on HBO.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
It's
bizarre because it's not.
bittersweet.
It was a film that was released in theaters months before it even showed up on Max. Yeah, it's a bizarre distribution, and I will say I know quite a few people who worked on the film, and they are extremely unhappy with how this film has been released. If Clint Eastwood makes another film, this is just me saying, I'm not speaking for anyone. I doubt he will make another film with Warner Brothers because of the just massive fumble here. Uh,
Hmm.
it's
wow. I
it's
mean, yeah, I mean, that's the story. Is the distribution is just it makes absolutely no sense because anyone who sees this film will realize, oh my God, this could have been a massive hit. This could have been a huge
Yeah.
hit.
it could have
Huge.
yeah, it's really sad because it's like Clint Eastwood has out of all the studios, the studio that has produced most of his films or distributed them, I'll say, because he not produced, is Warner Brothers. I mean,
Warner
like
Brothers, great
yeah,
partnership. And he's
yeah,
made so many billion. He's made more money than Barbie for them. Like
yeah.
he's made
Mm.
billions of dollars and given them countless awards. Only director to give them two Best Picture Academy Awards. He's a remarkable figure.
But I mean, Nicholas Holt, as Fulton said, great year for him. I mean, I haven't seen The Order, and I haven't seen Garfield, but just from this film alone, it's a really great performance. And Tony Collette too, um, Zoe Deutsch, uh,
Oh, fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons, Kiefer Sutherland. I mean,
Cedric Yarborough, dude.
yeah,
That's a
Yeah.
I
That's a good
Cedric
performance.
Yarborough too. Oh my God, I
he's
just
incredible.
it's the way that Clint Eastwood is able to kind of attack the way that people use their families as a way to absolve themselves of their wrongdoing is it's it's amazing. It's an amazing statement that
Hmm.
I mean the writer, I guess Clint Eastwood
Yeah,
didn't write
Jonathan
the movie.
Abrams.
Yeah,
Well, it's
Jonathan
an interesting. If
Abrams.
you read there was a fantastic. I think it was GQ did an interview with Jonathan Abrams, and he talked about how Clint Eastwood for years worked with him on the script. So he
Mm.
got the script, and then he started making these changes with him, and they kept working and working and working up
Yeah, that's
until the
right.
strikes. So literally, they did go into production, but they like worked until the writer's strikes was finished. Excuse me, went into effect, and he was just saying the amount of changes Clint Eastwood made to the script was all for the better. He was the one who said, "Let's not make it some random town in the middle of nowhere. Let's make it Savannah, Georgia." I like
Hmm.
Mhm.
Savannah, but that also gives it a really center, real world place where something like this could happen. Also giving it into the Georgia justice system. Like it's a very interesting way to do this. I think you're so right. The performances here are, I mean, that's really the story. They're so good. Nobody is phoning this in. This is all horrific
It's such
casting
an
through and
old-fashioned
through.
movie, and it's
Yeah.
true to how
So
it
yeah,
is.
it's just like you don't see a script this good almost ever. Like it is so well done. I mean, it's so I'm sure all of us we all are going to have this in our top three. This is my number two. I put your number two for number two. Um, I think, I mean, the Clint Eastwood, who's my favorite filmmaker, he's been working for so long. This is a total knockout to me. I think this is a great film that tackles all of these themes that he has been wrestling with, going back to Dirty Harry,
Mhm.
about the American justice system, what it means, what is innocence, what is morality, what does it mean for good people to do bad things, what does it mean for ordinary people to step up and do something extraordinary. I think this is also just such a great way of just showing how someone who is seemingly a good person turns themselves. I'm gonna steal a line from Reagan, our friend, turns themselves into a sociopath at the sake of their family. I mean
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
what and it's just this is so some of it, some people have complained that it's not very subtle. I can understand that, but I do think this is a type of film that is alarmingly clear about what it is saying,
Mhm.
what it means. Like, I mean, the great line that is said by the judge about the flaws of the justice system, but it is the best system, and how the end of the film is the system working. In God we trust. We have to go. It's such a layered film, and on top of that, you have 94-year-old Clint Eastwood. And I put in my I saw the film three times, including at the world premiere, including at a cast and crew screening, as well as a at home with the family. Um, when he's in the bar flashback and you hear Toby Keith's "As Good as I Once Was," come on, right? And that's
Yeah.
kind of that's the whole movie right there, right? I'm not as good as I once was. Got a few years on me now, but there was a time back in my prime where I could really lay it down. So if you're feeling
Mhm.
wild, kind of wild tonight, well, I think I got a little more cowboy in me. I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm good once as I ever was. And it's like, yeah, Clint Eastwood, he's like, okay, everyone was rooting against this movie. Nobody thought this was going to be anything major. People had such doubts. Everyone was just, the whole distribution factor. There was no trailer for so long. People were like, okay, this isn't going to be great. It's a knockout. People
Mhm.
love this movie, and it's so deserving of being one of the best of the year. I think it's the best American film I saw this year. It's terrific.
Mhm.
I guess
I could,
if I when I look at my list, I would agree. Actually,
yeah.
the number one
Mhm.
American movie that I have on my
There's
list.
no better American.
Yeah.
I mean, what a if this is Clint Eastwood's last movie, and it might be.
Oh,
Um, I don't want it to be,
yeah, me
um,
Yeah.
neither. Yeah.
but it might be his last movie. This is an incredibly strong way to end. This might be the definitive last film if this is indeed his last film. I think we're still 50-50. I spoke to one of his producers not that long ago, and he is still looking at scripts. He does try to find he doesn't want to stop working.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, but I think this could be it. This could be the last one, and I think this is a really, really strong effort from everybody involved. I just can't recommend this movie enough. I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. I think it's what a movie to watch. I watched this movie after the election, and that was I just think it's one of the most poignant things to be said about like the truth and what it is. And it's like,
What is yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's on my list, and I'll definitely get to it. Obviously there's not too many lists, not too many positions that
Left,
could be
yeah.
left. But I'm sure we'll have a good laugh when we get there. But I mean, like, even if you take all the external factors with the distribution aside, because I feel like a lot of people were definitely trying to, and for good reason, trying to champion it, because it kind of was a film that was being silenced in a way, like pushed under the rug. Even if you take all the external factors away, I mean, like you're saying, like Cody, Chris, it's just a great movie. I mean, like, I think one of the really powerful things that we can do with the power of cinema is, have these moral dilemmas where you can kind of be on this teeter totter and see both sides. You can see how badly the character is caught between right and wrong, right? Or what is right and what is wrong. And so that's really all I have to say. I mean, obviously, a film shot in my hometown is always going to be, have a very soft spot for me. But regardless, I just think it was such a great film.
yeah.
I mean, just the commentary it has on the justice system, like y'all were saying. I don't have really too much. I think y'all knocked it out of the park. I don't have too much else to add, but yeah, I'll get to it, just in namesake, when we get to it, and for sure.
Nice.
Is it me, or is it?
It is you.
I think it's Fulton. You're number 3.
Sorry, number 3. I have here, because
Let's go.
yeah, I'm
Braver man
obviously.
than me.
Yeah, I'm a big Zemeckis guy, and obviously, the film isn't perfect, but I really have not. Truth be told, I teared up both in Juror 2 and here, so but I will be quick with this one. Just really formally is a film that says we're gonna stick at one axis in space and in time, in one axis on the Earth, put a camera there and see it from inception to present day, is just formally such an interesting idea. And the way they play around with just being stuck is
it's
brilliant. I mean, yeah, and obviously I'm a sucker. I like sentimental. I like oozy goozy Robert Zemeckis. All of that is present, but I still think it's a very interesting film about, what does it mean? It's a very interesting film about examining American life, how we hold significance to certain places just by the fact of our memories and emotions that we share with them. And like, when you grow up, your childhood home is your childhood home, and you want it to be that forever. But naturally, there will be a time when you won't be around, and that place will take on new memories for new people. These places will move on to other places. We want to hold this concrete, stable idea of what a place means to us, but we can't. And that's one of the interesting ideas about life. And that just pulverized me in the theater. And I don't cry a lot during movies, man, but
it
I
got
teared
me.
up 3 times in this movie. It was very, very moving.
It's yeah, you're so rightful, and it's so formally just innovative. Like this, as soon as I got out of the theater, I was out at the world premiere for this one as well, and I turned to who I was with. I was like, Eisenstein's up there right now, just smiling. Like this is montage, and it's the way that he uses the frames in these movies are just, it's so interesting.
Yeah.
Miracle that this movie exists. Love it.
For sure.
I wish I was as brave as you to put that 3. That's a great choice.
Yeah. And then there's a whole nother political commentary to it that, just for time's sake, we'll just let that be
it's
there.
Interesting.
But,
it's an interesting movie politically, because I saw some people complain about it, and I think it's actually, it does kind of read like a little more like old man politics, but in an endearing way. Like it is very honest, and it's a. I think that's why I think I like the film so much. Is it is so earnest. Like it is just. It does really stick with you. So yeah, I totally get that, Fulton. Great movie. My number 3. I don't think you all have seen. I don't think you actually have seen either of my next films. excuse me. This is a musical. It's my favorite musical of the year by Joshua Oppenheimer. This is his first narrative film. He's very well known as a documentary filmmaker. Did one
I
of my
got
all-time
nervous for
favorite
a moment.
films. Oh yeah, one of my all-time favorite films, "The Act of Killing," which I think is about the Cambodian genocide. I mean, it's just that is
Amazing.
that is an amazing film. Could easily be in my top 10 of all time.
I still gotta see it.
Um,
Yeah, that's but
this one is a
It's a tough
fascinating film.
watch.
This one is called The End. It's stars Tilda Swinton, George McKay, Moses Ingram, Michael Shannon, as well as a few others. This is an original musical. It is set 25 years after some environmental crisis has occurred, and this rich family has been siloed into this cave where they are basically alone. It is a mother, father, son, a butler, and then the mother's best friend. And one day, a woman appears in the silo from the outside, and there's discussion on what to do with her. One thing leads to another. They start unpacking what exactly happened over the last 25 years. And it's all a musical. It's a complete musical. Everyone is singing. Very beautiful music. It is done. Oh gosh, I had it written down and I just lost it. The score is pretty remarkable. Who wrote all the music? I'm looking right here. Well, it'll come to me. But anyways, it is written by a Broadway Marius de Vries. I believe that's how I'm saying it. I know he's written some pretty important musicals from what I was told. And the music is really stunning. Like it really is a stunning piece of filmmaking. I had not seen a film this year that was so much about what's happening with the environment and tackling it in such a fascinating way. Like you compare this to Don't Look Up, and it's just operating on such a different level. It does follow in the tradition of all great cinema by including some fascinating flatulence sequence, much like Amarcord or Fanny and Alexander.
or Ozu's
You're
Good
not
Morning.
Ozu's Good Morning, of course, yes. So it does follow in that tradition.
Uh-huh.
Jason versus
Um,
Freddy.
yes, Blazing Saddles, yeah. But it is a it can be funny. It is deeply romantic. It is music is frequently beautiful. You have some stunning, stunning sequences. One of my favorites involves a bird and Michael Shannon, and it's really a film that stuck with me in a way that it's almost hard to explain. I could compare it to Megalopolis in some ways, and just how
Mhm.
audacious this film is. It looks absolutely beautiful, all in one take. I mean, the silo that they're in, this like giant wintry cave, is so visually stunning. Such a great depiction on like what does it mean to be like have wealth, and how the rich will inherit the earth, which is the exact opposite of what Jesus said, but it is unfortunately true. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's a great film. I can't recommend it enough. I believe it just went on VOD. It's a
Hmm.
hard movie to find. It is a hard movie to find. Really recommend
Cody,
it.
you're making me really sad because I had a free ticket to it at the Museum of
Hmm.
Moving Image, and it was on like a Monday night, and it was after I worked, and I was like, oh man, do I really want to watch a 3 hour movie after I've worked all day? And I skipped it. But I had,
Oh no, no, it's great. It's great.
yeah,
I haven't seen a lot of love for this one because I think it did. I just think a lot of people didn't see this one. The people who have seen it are mostly positive. I have seen some pretty negative reviews, but I think
y-
some people are going to take problem with the politics here. It is a
yeah.
very unapologetically political film, but I think the performances sell any of those notions really, really well. I
Hmm.
mean, Michael Shannon is the evil fossil fuel man is
Mm.
very endearing. It's an interesting film. It really does make you think a lot about relationships. So yeah, can't
Hmm.
recommend it enough. Go see it.
Well, so my number two film is one that we've already talked about, but that is Red Rooms.
Hmm.
Which is by Pascal Plante, which is a Quebecois film, um, and just all around a great thriller, a very disturbing movie about the just experiencing life through screens and the horrors that you can find in this digital
Mm.
world that we've created for ourselves. It's people have compared it to like kind of a Fincher-esque movie, and I think
Yeah,
That's
I
a
see
pretty
it.
apt comparison, but I've really when I first saw this, I really liked it, but I it definitely has been moving up on my list as the months have progressed. There's just so many images that I've just been burned into my head that I think about, and I I think it's a movie that you can recommend to somebody and you know they'll like it if they're but you also have to know but you also have to know
Yeah.
that like if they it could
What their
also very
limits
much
are.
disturb them.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't want to recommend this to
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Sunday
it's
brunch ladies.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely not.
The peanut gallery.
If somebody said like what's your favorite movie from this year and it was just somebody off the street or somebody that maybe a coworker,
Turn
um
number two.
yeah, that's what you go with,
Yeah.
not Red Rooms.
Not Red
That's
Rooms, yeah.
um but yeah, great film. I'm just gonna leave it there, I guess.
Yeah. For my number two, I swear to God, I didn't mean for this to happen, but it was juror number two. I really didn't mean it wasn't like a
Wow.
pun or
Well,
number
I
two
figured
or, you know,
we were all gonna have Joe number two pretty high, I
yeah.
assumed. But yeah, that's awesome. My number two, we talked about it. It's a great movie. Um, yeah.
Yeah, juror number two. All right, and now for our number ones. So my number one is also technically a 2023 movie. It came out at TIFF, but it didn't get a wide release here in America until now, if you could even call it a wide release. And it's Radu Jude's "Do Not Expect Too Much from the End of the World." What
Great movie.
a hilarious movie, Godardian, dare I say. I think it really has a brilliant commentary about like the world that we live in and how it's like it's just you can't help but laugh at some of the things that you have to experience, and it's just the day in the life of somebody that has a job that just sounds absolutely terrible, and that it provides a really nice glimpse into Bucharest, Romania, which is a place that I have not been to, but I would love to visit. And
To hang
it's
out with,
hang out with Uwe Boll,
Yeah,
Uwe
Uwe Boll
Boll.
and
Andrew
Andrew
Tate.
Tate. Yeah.
Yeah. um, but it really does. It's made me a immediate fan of Radu Jude's films, and Bad Luck Banging and Looney Porn is the next film that I have to see from him because I know that I'll love it. There's this amazing scene at the end of this movie where it's a 45-minute shot that just does not cut, and it's not like kind of I hate when people champion movies that are like 1917, the Sam Mendes film, where it's like, yeah, you never see a cut, and it's just kind of like obnoxious and flashy, and I think it can overwhelm the actual
Yeah.
content.
I hate
Um,
that film, the
yeah,
1917 film.
yeah, but Cody knows what I'm talking about. This scene
Yeah,
is like it's just the
it's
fact that they never
incredible.
cut is
It's stunning.
so funny.
That was when I was like, this is the film that this is. For a while, it was my number two of the year, and then as the year came, it's like that and here were in competition to get in my top 10. But yeah, what a great movie, great choice. Another film that like a lot of these films that we've talked about are really about the modern day,
Yeah,
and that film encapsulates what it is in like just grinding capitalism, tackles sex, tackles misogyny, tackles class and filmmaking and art in so many different ways. It's a fascinating film.
yeah.
What a great choice for number one, I think.
Okay,
Yeah. And just to keep on
go.
rolling, my number one is Rebel Ridge.
Whoa.
Oh, whoa, let's go.
Okay.
So I was like floored by this film. Just incredibly smart action film where really the goal of the action is nonviolence. I think that's such an amazing kind of premise for a film. Great like political and social commentary, and again very like we were saying, like a very modern film dealing with kind of issues that have always been present in America, but speak specific to our current moment. Beautifully directed, beautifully acted. If you haven't seen it, please go see it. I just think it's such a like well executed like machine. I think it kind of takes two of my favorite Well, not two of my favorite things, but I think an action film that can really have this type of like biting commentary is also very. I just think that was very effective and a very effective blend. Although I can understand people's kind of qualms with the third act, where it's like, oh well, there's one good cop. I can understand that. Maybe it gets a little politically muddled in that third act, but I still think the main message of the film is very interesting. So.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really I enjoyed that movie too, a lot. And when I watched it, I was like, Fulton needs to see this because I know he'll like it even more
Yeah,
than I
I know.
did.
When I saw that a little early, but yeah, that's a great movie. I'm one of the very few people who got to see that in a theater, and it
Oh,
was,
I wish
oh my gosh,
this
and I
would
got
because
it,
it's
and
so tense. I just feel like it would
it
have
is amazing.
thumped
I was so
Yeah,
if
and
you.
disappointed
Aaron
in that
Pierre and
movie.
Don
Yeah,
Johnson were there. Everybody was there. It was incredible.
Oh,
Jeremy was there. Like, oh, it's a great movie. It
I
really is a great movie. It's great entertainment. Yeah, the total valid choice, I think.
I live in the city where Netflix owns a cinema to play their movies, and they didn't play it there.
They
That's
didn't
it's a
do it. Yeah.
shame, man.
it.
It's a
They
shame.
only, yeah, it was one screen, and it was they did it one night only for like basically the premiere, which was at the Egyptian Theater.
Yeah, 'cause
And
yeah,
I
yeah,
just happened to hit my email at the right time, and that
Mm.
was that. So
right.
all right, my number one. It's a film that you guys have not seen yet. It should be coming to you all soon. It is out in theaters in New York and LA right now. I think it's going to expand this weekend. The new Mike Lee movie, Hard
Oh,
Truths.
I want to see it.
eh,
This is a film that I saw at the AFI Film Fest, and I loved it immediately. And as I've sat with this film, it has just only grown and grown and grown. It is follows the life of Pansy. It's again another film that is very much about our current moment. It takes place in London. It's a really I think it's London. I don't I to me it's like y'all ever have this problem with it? I don't know anything about English geography. And I've seen so many Mike Lee movies, and like I'm like, oh, that's probably London. And I'm like, oh, that's obviously not London. I
I
just
mean,
think London is, maybe it is, I don't know, but it's like it's not London. But I just say London because it's the only
Manchester,
fucking
maybe
Manchester. Yeah,
Birmingham.
what is Birmingham? Yeah, I don't know these British. I know Brighton Rock, that old Attenborough movie, which is great, but I don't know British geography like at all. It's embarrassing. Any British people listening are dying of laughter right now. But this is I mean, it's a terrific, terrific movie. It's a short watch. Marion Jean Baptiste reuniting with Mike Lee, of course, The Great Secret and Lies, which is one of maybe my favorite Mike Lee film. This rivals that. I mean, this is really, really terrific. Her character Pansy is a frustrated, annoying, oftentimes very funny woman, and kind of delves into her life and why people are the way they are,
Yeah,
how society and family all come together, and what decisions you make early in life and the people around you's happiness, how that can lead to your depression. How does one raise a child, raise a child as someone who is so disturbed? What do you do with an emotionally distant husband? What happens when tragedy comes in, even if it's just a small tragedy? The economical impact of all of this is just kind of weighs over it. I mean, it's a stunning film. It is a stunning, stunning film. I find, much like Christmas Eve at Willow's Point, where I was saying, it's kind of a movie about nothing, which makes it a movie about everything, or about no one, which makes it about everyone. This is definitely a film about people, but it does kind of feel like this is about real working people. And because of that, you end up feeling like this is a movie about everything in the world that's happening. And I think it is such a remarkable achievement. Um, I have seen some people, I mean, people tend to love this movie. I haven't seen it on many top 10 lists. I've seen it on many best performance of the year lists. I think this is clearly the best movie of the year. I love it. I love Mike Lee. Please go check this out. It's an incredible, incredible film.
yeah.
And I think both of you should be able to get to it hopefully soon. I hope
I
it's
Well,
going to
hope
start
so. I hope
expanding.
so.
it
Um,
was playing. It's been playing in New York for a few months. I'm I need to. The only reason why I haven't seen it is because it hasn't been at like Regal or something. So I'd need to like
Oh, you'd have
go
to buy it. Yeah.
or go to like it's been playing at Lincoln Center like for months now. So I'm planning on going maybe next week because I need to see it.
Yeah, this one's y'all are Mike Lee fans, right? Or not really?
I love Mike. I actually
From
just
what I've
listened.
seen, yeah.
I listened to him on Mark Maron, which was
Oh, that's a
great little
great
chat.
podcast, isn't
Mm.
it? He's
He
such a
he
likable
saw
guy.
he saw Laurel and Hardy like in person, like
That's
when he was a
What?
kid.
That's
Fulton,
so
you
cool.
you have to hear this podcast. Like it is.
Okay,
Oh my
I'm
god!
putting it
But
on the queue.
and also like just the way that he makes films are so innovative. It's so interesting. It's
Mhm.
such a he is such a he's a true original, and I think he is one of the few, like one of the last great working filmmakers. And I mean
Yeah.
he said he's going to try and do another film this year, and I'm like I just one thing that I want you all to keep in mind when you watch Hard Truths is this was a film that was rejected by Venice, it was rejected by Cannes, and it was rejected by TIFF.
Mhm.
So
Wow.
they showed it to these people and they submitted it and they were all like, it's not very good. And then of course
Wow.
it comes
Yeah.
out and it has the best reviews he's had since Mr. Turner. And many of us are saying it is his. I mean, but of course all of his films are great. But
Mhm.
this is a top tier Mike Lee film, and I think people are going to love it.
Yeah,
Naked is crazy. That's what like got me into him.
that's crazy
Yeah,
that that the con jury watched
yeah. Can
Hard
you
Truths
imagine?
and didn't like it, but they watched Amelia Perez and they were like, "This is competing for the
Yes.
Palme
Yeah.
d'Or."
What a
I mean,
very
yeah,
confusing year. A very, very confusing year.
very odd year, but yeah, it's a great movie. Definitely recommend it.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I think we've about talked everyone's ear off about 2024
Yeah.
movies,
Yeah,
and
I think so.
I think that now that you a loyal listener have so much to watch if you haven't seen. I'm sure that there's plenty of things that we've suggested that interested you, and yeah, please go watch movies. Do not expect too much at the end of the world is on movie right now. So no excuse.
Juror number
Grapple.
2 on Max.
Yeah, we you got options.
I
We're not
guess
A
the
if we had
different
done,
man on Max.
yeah,
different.
I
Yeah,
guess what's interesting, if we had done like a collective pick for best movie of the year, the only movie in all of our top three was Juror number 2, I think.
yeah. No, I
Oh
think it
So
yeah,
would
because a
be.
different
it
man.
is,
Yeah, 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 that's right. That's right.
yeah. So, but yeah. But a lot of great movies this year. So yeah, go check them out
Mhm.
All
For
right.
sure.
Well, stay wavy.
Stay safe.
and keep on keeping on.